Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Real Deal. So, this week we're talking about job history. So, that's a question that comes up a lot, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there when it comes to what kind of job history you need. Now, for now, I'm going to talk about for more your traditional type lender. There are some hard money lenders out there that do special programs with less requirements, but it just kind of gets real complicated if we go down that road. So, we're just going to go ahead and stick with your traditional type lender, banker, mortgage officer, and so on and so forth. So for the most part, you do need to have 2 years of job history to be able to purchase a house. Now, job history is not at the same actual job or in the same field. And that's one of the bigger misconceptions that people have. So, for example, let's say that you've been working, 6 years at a company and you were just offered this great promotion or just a great opportunity with another company that's paying you more money. You can definitely go from one company to the other. It doesn't have to be the same industry, and combine your 2 year job history. I've had clients purchase houses with an offer letter and one paycheck stub at the new company. That applies also if you're moving in from out of state. So if you live in another state and you're thinking about moving to Arizona and you have a job offer ready to lined up and you get here, you work, all we need is one paycheck stub usually to get you into your home. So that 2 year job history isn't at the same company and it's not in the same industry. It's just in general just 2 years of completed history. Even if for you ladies, even if you had a baby and you had to take maternity leave and you decided to take a year off, we can use the previous year of history or the previous time of history that you had and then combine that with your new current job history to be able to help you purchase a house. That comes up all the time. Same, for example, if let's say you're working part-time. Now, we can use part-time income. We can use that. However, that you have to have been working at least 2 years of part-time to be able to use part-time income. Same with two jobs. If you have two jobs, we can use your income from both jobs, but you have to have been working at least 2 years at two jobs at the same time. Now, let's say that you've been working part-time for 18 months and you're ready to get the process to buy a house. And unfortunately, that just isn't enough money to qualify for a house. Well, the good news is you can literally go full time a week later and you can get the full benefits, the full income. If you're W-2, and I'll go into the difference between W-2 and 1099 employees. But if you're an hourly paid employee and you're currently working part-time and you're switching to full-time, you can use that full-time, even though you've been working part-time for 18 months, you can use that full-time income and combine that 2 year history. And that's a big one that I've come across recently, especially when I have couples that I'm helping out. Usually one of the couples is full-time, the other one's just working part-time. But when it comes time to buy the house, to get the numbers where we need them to be, to get the income where we need it to be, the other spouse ends up getting a full-time job to be able to support the mortgage. And that's totally fine. Once again, you don't need to have 2 years of job history to do that. Now, where it gets a little bit tricky is when we're talking about commission-based jobs or jobs where you get a lot of bonus pay, or you're a contractor or 1099 employee. That one is a little bit trickier. So when I was saying earlier, as far as like, hey, you've been working part-time and you're switching to full-time, or you've been working, getting paid a certain wage, and then you switch companies and now you're getting a different wage and you can use that without having to have 2 years of history. That doesn't apply the same when you're a contractor, right? That's not the same where you get paid a lot of commission. So let's say you get a lower base salary, or you're a server, and then you get a lot of tips or you get a lot of commission in your income. That's not the same case. Whenever you're a 1099 employee, you're self-employed, you're a contractor, you have to average out your 2 year job history and the income that you made in those 2 years to be able to come up with a dollar amount that we can approve you for. So what does that mean? So let's say that you've been working at a job for 18 months, right? And you're getting paid, a decent hourly salary. And you get this great opportunity with another company that's like, hey, we're going to pay you less per hour, but you're going to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in commission. That is where you run into issues, because if you're going from a W-2 type job, right, and now we're going and we're getting commission pay, in order to be able to use that commission pay, you do have to have been earning that commission for at least 2 years, and we have to be able to average that out. Same with contractor work, right? So usually if you're self-employed or you're contracting, like let's say you work for an electrical company or a plumbing company, and you're making, great pay, but you decide, hey, I want to go self-employed and I want to start working with some of these new build communities, and I want to start getting paid per job. You're going to make more money that way. However, at that point, you do have to average out 2 years of history with this new type of pay. So that's where the dilemma happens. Now, if it's on the flip side, let's say you've been working as a contractor, let's say you've been working as a commission-based job, and then you're wanting to transition and go into an hourly pay. Well, then at that point, you don't need to combine the 2 year history, or you don't need to average your income for the 2 years. All you're doing now is using your new hourly or salary pay. So that it gets a little bit more complicated when we're talking about contracting or commission-based jobs. It gets a little bit more complicated when we go that route. But if you're thinking about a job change and you've been considering purchasing a house, please make sure to reach out to me. My advice is 100% free. I would love to put you in the right direction, so that way you don't make a move that's going to set you back another 2 years. If you're thinking about buying a house, if you've considered it in the past, before you make this new job change, let's have a conversation and see how that should look. If it's something that's going to be strategic to do now, or if you should wait to purchase your house first before you change into this new job. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Real Deal. I appreciate you. And if you have anybody that's in the market to buy or sell, please share this information with them. I promise you it's going to answer a lot of questions for them. Thank you much, and have a great rest of your day.